So today is our group activation, and our focus today is on synchronicity and connecting to our divine and our unique lives. So just going to invite you to close your eyes and take a few minutes to just settle in. And I like to start by feeling the heart and soul connection with one another. And just feel your heart opening. Feel your connection to each person that's on the call or maybe connecting in later. And I want to invite you into a sacred temple today, a sanctuary where you are receiving the highest and best of all possible, the highest and best energy, the highest and best of yourself. You're receiving the connection that you desire, the clarity, the confidence. So I just invite you to walk with me through this doorway. And inside our sacred temple today, there's some comfy, cozy places to sit, and just find a place that makes you feel relaxed and comfortable. There, it feels nice. And as we are sitting in this beautiful virtual sanctuary, the birds are singing, the sun is shining through the portals, and there's a crystal at the very, very top of our dome-shaped sanctuary. And as the light pours through the opening in the dome, there's a prism being created, a rainbow prism of color. A whole spectrum of beautiful colors are being reflected all through the sanctuary. And just take a nice, relaxing breath. Well, Alan Davidson is here, and he wants to say, hello, darling. And he is just not going to sit quiet. I heard him a second ago, and he just wanted to make his presence known. Alan and I are going to be working on the Sacred Synchronicity book together. So take a deep breath and invite in your own connections, your guides, whoever you have in your team, your spiritual dream team. And go ahead and invite them to join you today. And the room is quickly filling up as you have attracted quite an entourage of beautiful beings and souls that are with you. And as our room starts to fill with these amazing, amazing beings, I'd like you to start to connect with your own amazing beingness. And for the moment, to reflect on yourself. Who must I be to have such an amazing surrounding of these kind of people, these kind of beings? Some of these beings on your spiritual dream team are departed loved ones, they're angels, they're guides, they're your entourage from the other side. And you may also include your current life support team and just invite them to join you in this powerful experience. And just remember, who must I be to have such an amazing entourage, such an amazing, powerful, expansive connection to the universe, to others, to our planet? Who must I be? And take a deep breath. And as you reflect on that question about who I must be, in your own way, let those messages come to you now in a silence. Allow those messages in right now. There's your entourage, your dream team is here to support you in receiving that message. Alan just said, who I must be is dead. like he is such a joker. Yes, you are on the other side, dear. So being doesn't have to be serious. I'm being reminded that to be is to enjoy, to find great peace, to find love, to find the greatest experience of grace and happiness that one can experience, pleasure. Each of us here have been drawn to activate some very, very important part of ourselves, whether it's more clarity, more confidence, more self-expression, creativity. Each of these areas is waiting inside of us to be expanded. And today was no accident. The synchronicity of you being here at this place, this time, this moment, lives in the most highest form of your divine connection. You were guided to be here. So just open the receptors. You have millions of receptors in your physical body. And now is a time to open them wide, to start to feel the vibrations in your physicalness so that you can experience more of all the things that you desire in this particular journey. So let's talk about journey for a moment. True, each one here has been on a journey, is on a journey, and each one listening in or here currently has a assignment that has been given to you. And you're here for the right words for you to receive, for that confirmation. This is my journey now. And it is very present moment. It's not future. It's now. And true, each moment now changes because now only lives in the moment. Each one of you here are being anointed with a gift. Ellen says it's kind of like a party gift, if you will. All you have to do to receive the gift is reach out. Reach your hands out and open your palms right now. You can reach them out and hold your palms up. My palm has a beautiful crystal in it. And my crystal is receiving this anointed gift so that I can have it with me. Just open your palms and receive your gift. And receiving your gift, bring it to your heart. In gratitude. Now, a moment of silence for you to connect with this beautiful gift you're being given today. Thank you for that. And Alan wishes for me to say to you on his behalf that he is with each of you in the beyond, and that he is available for connecting with at any time. And so part of your anointed gift is the gift of connecting with him whenever you feel drawn to reach out. As we complete our circle for today, I am open for questions if anybody wishes to ask.
So, Jen, I would like to ask, what do you sense is stopping me from being fulfilled?
And how are you not being fulfilled? What area are you wanting to feel more fulfillment in? Is it general life fulfillment, or is there an area that you're not feeling fulfilled in?
Well, first there is companionship, finding a soulmate or companion. Uh, and secondly, I would say, success in my current venture, in my biopharma venture to bring cancer and COVID treatments to the people who need them. Those two areas are forefront for me.
Well, those two things would be very exciting for you, but they still wouldn't be fulfilling for you, because those are not inside. It is only through your inner fulfillment that you will find outer fulfillment. And so the question becomes, how do I become fulfilled inwardly? Where is it that I could shift or open or expand? So there's a new doorway for you to walk through that is open for you. And I think you may be seeing it, or at least you are seeing it today. So I invite you to explore the new what you find on the other side of that door, on your journey that your message is part of today. Your journey to fulfillment is really what's next for you. And just knowing that fulfillment will not come from outside. It will only come from my inside and on my journey. So enjoy walking through that new door and see what you can find waiting for you on the other side of the door, that is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Jan. I have a question.
Sure.
So, in activating greater clarity and authentic expression, what are a couple of the most important next steps in that journey as I claim that activation and move into that space more and more?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just hearing the words playfulness. The last thing you want to do is create a mountain of work for yourself. Correct?
Correct.
Been there, got the t-shirt. So what I'm hearing for you involves more play, more lightheartedness, more intimacy, more romance. Think of yourself dancing with your husband, your partner, and see that, as you twirl around the dance floor, your dress is flowing, your hair is moving, and you're just filled with the delight of a child. This is what will be your message today, to explore now this light side of yourself, because the other side is very well developed. But more of the same is just not going to serve you. It won't serve your heart. It won't serve the people around you. Whatever you took on would be executed, but it will feel too heavy, too hard. And so play. Your access to your journey is through play. And that's the message of self-expression, is how am I going to express myself through play?
It's funny, I feel Alan big time. He's like, she's got that right, darling. So listen,
Okay.
listen up.
Yeah, you tell her.
Don't you think that this isn't coming through big time? So that's so funny.
So picture these two images. So one of the dancing, or one of you stepping into a boat that is so weighed down it starts sinking. And that's your choosing. This is your message today.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Alan says, call me. Give me a call.
I'm glad you said that, because when you were talking about Alan being here and inviting us to speak with him, I was thinking of you, Kim, and because he was saying to all of us, he goes, listen, I've been busier than ever. I got more nipples spinning than I've ever seen. And but you guys are VIPs. You guys have the red carpet, come in anytime. And yeah, Kim, I was just really feeling him wanting you to know that he was there for you as a guide.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Alan. Yes, I'm feeling that right now. Thank you.
And Alan was smiling from ear to ear as he handed me the sword of clarity. And it was an illuminating sword of clarity, in fact. And it reminds me of Kuan Yin, which came up again during the hand reading thing, and the dragon, your dragon came up, and Kuan Yin, the Tibetan goddess of mercy, and but that this he had talked to me about this all the time as a mentor for me, particularly with Mars and Mercury, of having this sword of truth to cut through all that is not here to serve my highest purpose, in order to be able to have the bandwidth, if I just focus on what's mine to do, and reminded of his saying that saying yes to your true purpose means saying no to 10,000 other things. And the last thing I wanted to share was for you, Bridge, when I was hearing the voice of Sacred Synchronicity speaking to you and asking about what does it take for that inner fulfillment. I kept wanting to, I felt like this, I just kept hearing detachment, that in Buddhism, detachment is the cause of all suffering. And, but it wasn't because of that memory. It was just this pouring through, and Alan said, shh, let him come to it on his own. He knows, but I still had to say it.
Thank you, Mark. It's good to feel Alan's energy. I miss him. Love you, Helen.
Love you, Ellen. All right, so we're going to close our circle unless there's any other questions or while we're still in this beautiful energy or comments.
I'll just express gratitude for being here, specifically with the three of you and Alan together. It's very special.
Very special.
And thank you, Mark, for your love. I always feel you're a loving, caring channel, to benefit others. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I also want to express gratitude. I actually didn't think I was going to be on this, and Sacred Synchronicity placed me here right now. And so, yeah, and I'm just called to say, Bridge, that I don't know you really at all, but I had this feeling of just also appreciating the beauty that you shine. So you have such a pure heart, and I'm just led to share with you to don't forget that and don't neglect that in your creations, because it's from that space that all things will come that you dream of in your heart. But it's like just nurturing that beautiful heart shine of yours as you move forward. It just is a really beautiful expression that you have.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you so much.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so let's just take a moment to say our goodbyes to the sacred temple in your own way. Thank you. Great gratitude, Alan, all of our ancestors who've traveled with us today, all of our angels, our guides, the beings, the archangels that have blessed our path, all of the seen and unseen friends. For this, we are truly grateful. And let's just walk back through the door that we came in and take a deep breath as you walk out the door. And when you're ready, open your eyes and step back into our group.
Kim, I know we're talking about sacred synchronicity in that space, but I have to say that you remind me of T. Leone and your voice, both your voice and appearance. So I'm just trying to perceive you as you are.
Of who?
Who was it again?
She's an actress.
Leone.
T. Leone. She's a very accomplished actress.
Yeah.
You can look her up. So
She
was in the series
Madam
Secretary.
She was Madam Secretary, and I've been told that by many people, including
I know you.
I hardly watch TV, and yeah, so then I finally had to watch her. So that's funny. I haven't heard that for a while, but it was coming in multiple channels a few years ago.
Yeah, he's trying to leave that Madam President behind, going into her next role as
yeah, so Kim, I'm present to your whole new future of self-expression, whatever that might be.
Oh, that's funny. That's
wonderful. Any parting comments before we close for today? Was this valuable to be here?
Absolutely valuable. Wonderful. Thank you. I just wanted to add actually to what Kim said outside of the door, because she said it so well, I didn't want to cloud it. but I was hearing the same thing, Bridge, especially coming through Kim, about if you can express the same love and compassion inwardly, as the voice of Sacred Synchronicity was saying, that will help in the detachment of looking for it outwardly, and falling in love with yourself will make it very easy for everyone around you to fall in love with you, and just not even just intimate companionship. You'll be overwhelmed with companionship of all kinds.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Jen, I'm always amazed at your gatherings. And you know, you from the beginning to the end, the space that you create, and I know you prepare for it, and you're open and still emerging, like you're sensing the future that you yourself want to be. But I just want to acknowledge that, you know, who you are, and I'm happy to be partners or observers on the journey, you know, as you discover that.
You're definitely part of my spiritual dream team.
Thank
And
you.
it is a gift to be witnessed, for sure. Thank you for saying that, Bridge.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting. This thing I did want to add, that Werner, who was the founder of Aston, Landmark, etc., he used to say that transformation is not really useful for anything. You know, you won't get wealthier, sexier, rich, or whatever. You know, it just gives you fulfillment, or you're whole, or something like that. You know, and I heard what you said, Mark, and everyone, and I know that in my heart of being, I am fulfilled. So it's such a precious life, and all of us have come in contact with incredible teachings and so on. But
Well,
I think
I needed to say something to just add on to that, if I could. We're multidimensional beings. So, well, you may, in this version we're looking at on the screen today, remember you have multiple beings that can be in other dimensions who are waiting for fulfillment. Anyway, that just came through to remember we are working with multi-dimensions, and the communications, we are most aware of it in this moment, but we are radiating it out to the other dimensions. Anyway.
Hmm. Yeah, I just want to mirror some of the things that have already been said. One, I was amazed that this is the group that showed up, because I've been kind of in a heart space of wanting to, like Mark and I have been missing connections, and then Jan being in your presence, and Bridge, you're just like filled the group. And and then Alan coming in with such clarity and power. I mean, I could just feel him, and like, come on, darling, right? Like, really? Have you not called on me in a couple of weeks? Like, what the heck?
When I asked the question, you know, about being, he says, well, I guess I'll be being dead. I'm like, you're so funny. I'm like,
Forever. The trick.
He was sitting in the back of the class the whole time, making comments to me like
a little, you're
like
funny guy.
it was like we were at an event.
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
And
Kim, you have to bring your exuberance and joyful playfulness to the world. It's just, you're like irrepressible. You can't contain it. You can go to a silent retreat and all that, but
you won't be able to stay silent.
it's so true. And that you came in with that, Jan, was absolutely perfection. Because I know that, and I forget. And part of my life is sometimes I contain, because I do have an exuberance that is a little, sometimes maybe at a different level than is happening in the world. But when I come in authentically, just holding that space and giving permission, it's amazing. And I was given what I was told. My gift is I'm an igniter. I can simply be quiet and I can sit and the group will ignite. And the gift I was given was an incredible heart, a luminescent, to bring that in, to activate the strength to move through maybe some of the things that don't feel playful, to bring that playfulness in, jam the music, like, don't forget to bring that reflection in. So thank you, Bridge, because it's something sometimes I think I assume, well, that just happens everywhere. And then I'm being reminded, no, actually, we're all brought in for different reasons. And that's kind of you're like in that little combustion in the engine in the car. It doesn't turn on until there's got to be some ignition going on. So
that was spark.
I will playfully accept that role. And
You
see where
just spark.
I think if you do have a silent retreat, I think spontaneous, combustible laughter is okay. Because you're going to have a hard time containing its silence, because I think Alan's going to be throwing these little
on the dance breaks.
pieces.
So
Kim, I hope
Jan,
you'll receive it playfully when I start calling you Sparky.
yeah.
I will.
We all need to be unleashed, we're
Oh,
suppressing
okay.
ourselves so often in life. So, but Jan, I wanted to say something because I think I know you're writing the book and many things are emerging. I want to let you know that your message of multidimensionality was received by me, however it came through. And what it speaks to me is that so often in life we are linear, like I want to raise money for my biopharma or whatever. You just go about in that kind of a way. But life is indeed multidimensional, like maybe if I sing more, or I don't know, get in touch with people and love them, something will happen. So you can be open, but you have to trust the multidimensionality of life, And another way the multidimensionality can manifest is that you ask the question, what do you want to activate for yourself or whatever? But, we are all leaders in our communities and highly networked. And we can also ask for what we want to activate, for the world, for the planet. And, I say that because of this gathering and the book you're writing and all this, that this will impact many more people through the recording and what you create, Jan. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
And that big heart reminded me of when I was gifted. It's interesting, but Reg, you said that it was the message that love, and it came in when you said put the heart in the heart. It was just like the power of love to activate that true expression, authentic, that we're all gifted. It was so like poignant in that meditation. It was like, it was a wow factor where I just got tingles and chill. And I was like, oh yeah. But where did it begin? When you said, put it right here in the heart. Will I give myself permission to be that playful spirit that I have inside fully? Will you bridge permission of that confidence and clarity to bring in that beautiful relationship and your work that you're inspired to do, and mark that love to allow your creativity to be part of your life in the midst of your busyness as a papa, as a creator of lots of projects. And then beautiful Jan, just that incredible love that inspires this new chapter of your work and who you are and your expressions. So it did feel like when you said that, Bridge, I was compelled to share because it felt like a gift for the group. It was so luminescent and it was out of my palm. I was like, wow, this is incredible. The love that's available in that multi-dimensional space that just, when we open to it, comes through. And I know I can forget that sometimes. So this was a very visual and body felt gift that I wanted to share with all of you, because it felt like it was a group ignition and activation.
Definitely a group. That was the message I was given before I did the last one, to call it a group activation. I've wrestled with that word a little bit. And then I'm like, okay, just go with it. I'll get over myself. So I added the word experience afterwards. That made me feel better. So I'm like, okay, group activation experience. So, and that's really what you just spoke to, that is happening in this call today, is a group activation experience.
No, Jan, that seems very important, the group part, you know, and I'm sure you'll receive messages whose meaning will only reveal itself later on, right?
Yeah.
What it's saying is that whatever we want to manifest for ourselves, the planet cannot be done alone, you know, it has to be done as a community, right? So.
Yes.
And you can take the last 10 minutes of this recording and transcribe it as the takeaways from people in the last class. Here's what some of the people said about our last activation experience.
Yeah.
We'll have another interesting group next time.
Thank you, Coach. Wow.
Thank you all.
Thank you
Well, thanks,
all.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. An honor and a blessing to be with all of you.
Wonderful to meet you, Kim. And good to
Yes,
see you, Jan and
too.
Mark.
All right, go out and play, kids. Recess. All right, bye for now.
Thank you, Jan.
See
Love
you
you.
later this afternoon.
Much love.
Yes,
Always.
I'll be there.